50 square feet or less than 100 square feet area, then obviously the amount of manure that they are going to purchase and the frequency in which they are going to purchase is going to be very, very low, right? So your size of the market will be clearly dependent on the way in which you are, you know, you are thinking about your target segment, right? So again, existing gap, as I said, you really can't say there are no, direct competitors. I mean, I don't really get this, for the reasons that I just spoke about. There are competitors in the organic fertilizer space. It's just that they're not there in the same, they're not using the same kind of ingredients that you guys are talking about, right? So the next thing is, again, the new age, people, farmers buying large amount is not a viable option. Existing product cannot be stored than more than 40 days, and proper storage is to be done in case of cow dung, bone meal, etc. So if this is the case, you guys, I understand you are also using, the same set of ingredients as well. So are you guys, going to have the same problem? And, does it completely change if you are, mixing it together? Right? I mean, does the storage and the need for storage completely change, when you're mixing it together? So these are some of the questions which are there, which, need to be really thought through. Again, going back to your customer segments, this is where again I was confused. People who are unaware about, the mixing of organic fertilizers. So how are you even going to identify these guys, right? If you're trying to segment your market in this fashion, this is probably, the way in which this is your customer persona, and this is not your segment, right? So this is probably how your customers behave or act in terms of not being, aware of mixing organic fertilizers. But that can't be your customer segment. Your customer segment, is really specified in terms of people, either cultivating farms or vegetables and fruits in certain square feet or hectares of land. So that is how you will be in a position to really, quantify or qualify your customer segments. People who are not willing to take the pain of mixing the organic fertilizers. I mean, it's the first 2 points pretty much are the same. People who are first time farmers. I mean, do you really consider people growing vegetables and fruits in their balconies farmers? That's a question, that we will have to debate, but, that's something that you will have to see. People in urban areas who are doing farming as a hobby or as a relaxation tool, so they will not be willing to do hard work. So they will be, preferring ready-made products. So this is a big fundamental premise that you guys have made, that people who are, having these farms, will not be willing to do the hard work. How did you really get this? I mean, is there some kind of a validation? Is there some kind of a research? How are you even trying to say that people are not willing to do hard work? I mean, is this probably your figment of imagination? So that is something that you guys need to really quantify. Solution. So I could be completely wrong. I am not, in this particular space. The point is, the moment I saw sodium benzenate, and you're talking about, organic, product. So I did a quick, again search in terms of what is sodium benzenate. I have that somewhere here. Right, sodium benzenate is a substance which has the chemical formula blah blah, and it uses preservatives. It has an E number E211, which uses preservatives. So the question is, can your product still be called organic if you use sodium benzenate? As I told you, you'll have to take this with a bag of salt, because I am not in this particular field. I'm not a qualified person even to ask you this question. But out of curiosity, when I went and then checked for sodium benzenate, it doesn't really I really don't get if this could be really called an organic product. Again, cheap price and high quality, this is not your solution, right? Your solution clearly is all about your product, right? The solution is not qualifying your products in terms of, are you going to be, considered, a cheap price and high quality? This is your positioning strategy. So be very clear on what you enter on your, slide, right? So cheap price and high quality is probably how you would like to position your product in the market, but this is nothing to do with the solution, right? So in this particular slide, you only will have to talk about your solution in terms of, solution or your product in terms of what is this product all about, why is this product better than the others available in the market, and how is this particular product going to solve people's problem. So that is something that you will have to talk about, right? Our product be available in 1 kg to 30 kg. So all that is not something that you put in your solution slide. Again, unique selling proposition. How is your solution 10x better? You know, but I mean, by looking at this, the only thing that I'm trying to understand is you are trying to mix the ingredients that are available, and then trying to provide a ready-made mixture, right? And is that the only 10x solution? Because obviously if you think that this is going to work, even your competitors who probably have better scale will be able to easily replicate the same thing, right? So what makes you think that they can't replicate the formula unless and until you have something in your particular formula that's not really known and that's extremely unique, right? If you are talking about form things like cake, black soil, animal excreta, coconut, pitch, neem, so on and so forth. These are widely available, pretty popularly known kind of ingredients, and people are going to replicate your business, right? So how are you saying that this is a 10x advantage? So that is something that I'm not very clear, right? So that is something that you will need to really look at things. How did you arrive at the solution? Our country has witnessed widespread increase in the number of people resorting. Okay, all of these are statements without any backup, right? So there is no quantifying or qualitative. I mean, you probably are having a qualitative perspective to this, but you need to have some numbers to really back this up. Is it an agriculture study? Is it published by the Agriculture Ministry of India? How are you arriving at the solution? Is something that you need to really quantify, right? So okay, I'm going to give it a skip. Business model. So this is another interesting part, right? So I got really confused. In the first line, you're talking about a B2C model, business to consumer model, right? But in subsequent bullet points, you are actually talking about commissions to distributors and retailers, right? So are you trying to sell it to retailers and distributors who are going to sell this particular product to end customers, or are you going to sell it directly to end customers, right? So that is something that you will have to be very clear. You can't call yourself a B2C having a B2C business model and then you're saying that you're going to have a distribution network of retailers and to whom you are going to be selling, right? So people whom you are going to be selling are going to be business houses like retailers and distributors, so which makes it a B2B model, and they in turn will be selling it to end customers, right? So you will have to be very clear on what you're trying to say here. And as I said previously, these 2 points are again repeating. And why are these points here? Why are these points here? These 3 points here? I'm not quite sure. So that is something that you will have to really call this out to say why is what are you trying to imply by putting in these points in the business model slide. So your business model slides will have to be extremely tight, and that's something that you will have to work on. Again, validating your initial solution. It's good. I mean, I'm very happy that you have gone to the extent of talking to a lot of people and also went to the extent of looking at your supply chain, talking to plant nurseries, fertilizer shops, so on and so forth. But what you really need to talk about is the outcome of your discussions, right? So all that you've mentioned right now, saying that you've discussed about price and margin, discussed about other fertilizer companies, suppliers, etc., blah blah. But what is what you really need to call out is the outcome or the summary of this discussion, and not just mentioning that you discussed with these people, right? It's good to know that you have discussed with these people, but what we are interested to know is what is the outcome of this particular discussion, right? Without that, by just saying that you have discussed, it just doesn't really mean anything at this point in time, right? Only thing that we understand is you have taken the effort to go ahead and then discuss, but what we really don't understand is what is it that they said, how is it really important to your assumptions that you have made, when you've either crafted the business model or your product. Those are things which would be far more interesting to understand, rather than just saying that you went ahead and then discussed with these people, right? What makes your offering better than the others? Ease of use is the main attraction when it comes to our product. Price is another highlight. And it helps in saving considerable amount of time, right? So all this will have to be backed up by some kind of validation. Without this, your product market fit cannot be really ascertained, right? So you need to really back this up, by some kind of a validation. So I'm not getting into revenue and competitor analysis. Again, competitor analysis, like what you have said earlier, you have said that there are no competitors, and here you're talking about fertilizer companies as your competitors, right? And I presume that they are not your indirect competitors, because they are your direct competitors, because they are also selling organic fertilizers. So that is something that you really need to think through, and then let us know why you are not considering these fertilizer companies as your direct competitors if you are also in the business of selling organic fertilizers, to your end customers. All right, guys. You got to really think through this, and then I'm sure you would be in a better position to tighten these slides. Thank you so much.